Welcome to Teem Sports Entertainment, your one-stop shop for mature dialogue. We're going to get right to it. Welcome to Teem Sports Entertainment, the podcast, your one-stop shop for mature sports dialogue. I am your host, Earl Teemer, alongside my co-host, my big uncle, Alan Teemer. Before we go any further, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, Dream Team is out there. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you know when we upload new content. Also, follow us on social media, IG, Instagram, and Facebook. That will be Teem Sports Entertainment. Team with two E's, T-E-E-M. All right, we're getting right to it. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons, man. It's been a while, man.
Yeah.
And although things aren't...
It was a little discouraging because we had... And our first and opening episode that we had for Detroit, we had a whole different energy.
Yeah.
And that energy was based on what we saw in them with before the buyouts for Blake Griffin and
the sitting of Blake Griffin and
right and all that. We felt that they could make a playoff run or even be in the play-in from the way they started off the season. I believe that's what I saw, you know, and it was like right after we made that episode, the team decided to go into a whole different direction.
Yeah.
And we were baffled, like, wait, why would... Yeah. But then I understand it now.
Now I get it. Well, first off, the reason we felt that way is because they signed a free agent, Jerami Grant, right?
Right.
Mason Plumlee is over there as well, right?
Yeah.
They were playing hard. And that's rare that you see that a lot in some teams. Like, no matter who they played, they just gave maximum effort.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they were on the right track. They were winning some games. Yeah. It was rare that they were getting blown out. They played...
They were beating some of the top teams in the league.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. But then on the flip side, you have to kind of examine the future, right? So when you think about it, from our standpoint, we just like to win.
Right. But looking at it the way I'm looking at it now, it's totally different. I even saw why they made some of the moves they made, because actually we talked about Blake Griffin and what he could offer them if he can go back to just some forms of Blake Griffin, and right after that, he's no longer playing with them. They're looking to trade him, and I already knew at that point at the price of his contract, they were not going to trade him. I knew that.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't understand. Well, you're going to pay this man this much money. It's not like this 1 year. That's 2 years.
Yeah. You're
going to pay him this much money to get away from your team? And that's a big question mark right there for me. Why? Mm-hmm. And now I understand. Because watching him...
So attitude.
And seeing him play in Detroit, and then now watching him play and his movement and his... a little more of his athleticism that we thought was gone while he was here in Detroit. And now he's over and he hadn't dunked in almost 2 seasons, and now he's dunking over here and all that. And I see his attitude is totally different than what the attitude about body language than what I was watching here in Detroit. They needed to get him away from them young players.
That's a valid point, because that sets an example. So what you're saying was he took like a hardened approach to where I'm not going to give maximum effort until I get where I want to be, right?
They got too many young progressing players that's rookies that's coming in,
and they see that
you don't need that energy in your locker room.
And also on the flip side, because I had to like kind of check myself, because like I said, when you're watching ball and you're rooting for certain teams, you want to see them win because you like overall W's. But if you're playing a long game, if you're the Detroit Pistons, why would you sacrifice? Now I'm not saying I agree with tanking, because I'm not necessarily saying that's what they did, but why would you sacrifice a playoff berth when you could be a part of possibly the deepest draft in years? So you're going to take a playoff berth, right? And you wouldn't be in the lottery, right? And you'll look back 10 years and say, wow, we made the playoffs in 2021, but Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley are perennial all-stars, and we could have had them.
Well, you know how I feel about tanking, and that's the thing about it.
But is it really tanking in the...
No, it's because in the sense of what they're doing is they're not tanking. They're developing. They're developing.
Yeah.
They're developing these players, these young players, the Saddiq Beys,
Yeah.
You know, those guys come to play hard. They diving on the floor. They're moving. I mean, they play hard for Dwayne Casey.
They do.
And I hope when it all comes together, that Dwayne Casey don't get the label of from what his record is from these losses, because I believe that he's a great coach. He just need the right players there.
Say it again, man.
I believe he's a great coach. He just need the right players there with the right attitude. And they started that off with the signing of Jerami Grant, and then by making the other moves and getting rid of Blake, costly.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be the cheapest move they made that leads them to where they're relevant.
You got to take 2 steps backwards sometimes and get 3 steps ahead, right? And that's a valid point that you made, because there's no reason. There's no secret sauce out here. Like, you can't. He drank some secret beverage and now he jumping out the gym again. He want to play ball now, and he melded in.
Yeah, he melded in the whole time he was in Detroit.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
Getting free checks.
Yeah, and that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's not even that city is not even like, that's a grinded out city. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right. Hard workers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He didn't fit there in the first place.
Stan Van Gundy.
Stan Van Gundy. He made those.
They survived that era. Yeah, for sure. So
the best thing he done was. What I'm talking about, he didn't even do that. He was fired, and that's how Dwayne Casey got there, right? So, but Isaiah Stewart,
I like him.
It's like they got their new Ben Wallace.
Yeah,
he's gonna be exciting. He comes to play. He plays hard every night. Win or lose, these guys are down, and I watch them hustling. They're playing tough. They're doing all that they can to compete into these games, and they're young.
Yeah,
they're all young.
So you can't really examine final scores to really get the final takeaway or final point when it comes to this team. What I'm saying is that they've had some games where they lost by 30, 40. That comes down to youth, right? And they just don't have the firepower right now to keep up with some of these teams. But they're headed in the right direction. And early on, our previous episode about Denver, we said how they play hard, and we enjoy. I still watch them play. I like the quality of play.
Right.
But every team comes to a crossroads where you're willing to sacrifice a 1-year playoff berth and lose out on a potential perennial all-star. And you don't really hang no banners for making the playoffs.
No.
So they're heading in the right path. And Jerami Grant, man, I must say, he leads this team in blocks, right? I think that's a testament that they need a big man. But Plumlee's been playing well.
Plumlee been playing well, but Stewart been playing great.
Yeah,
he's actually starting right now.
But if you can get the number 2 seed, you can get Evan Mobley out of USC.
Yes, all that's fine. But when you said they need a big man, I must say that this guy, Okafor, people don't like him. I always liked him.
From Duke. Played with the Pelicans, got drafted by Philly. Yeah.
He played a big game the other night, 15 minutes. He ended up with I think 13 points or something like that. 13 points and 3 rebounds or whatever, something like that. But his presence, he's more of a scoring big.
Yeah.
Than more of a defensive presence. But I like what he brings to teams. Is he just got to find the right fit.
That's exactly what it is.
And so now him coming back, he's just coming back. He's playing now. So I want to see what that looks like. Not saying that they shouldn't draft some of the other guys, but I'm just saying that I can't go throughout this without mentioning him, that he's back, and I'm watching to see what he brings.
This is an audition process at this particular point, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. Because the trade they made, and they picked up Corey Joseph.
Yes, from Sacramento.
I like that.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with his contract. Is he locked in, or will he be a free agent soon? I can't seem to.
Yeah, because they're at this particular point they're guard heavy, right? Because you have right over there. You got Saddiq Bey,
but they're not. You're
gonna need that
veteran.
That veteran there,
like
absolutely, yeah.
And I think him being there is gonna help big time.
Locker room. Yeah, he's been a part of great organization. Well, San Antonio, so he can bring that energy and the winning attitude over there. But Detroit, personally here at Teem Sports, I don't think you all should be discouraged. A lot of fans are pretty much getting exactly what they wanted, because you can read the comments. They didn't really want to be in the playoffs because they seen early on that, listen, we've been through this before. You get bounced in the first round.
Right.
We got Drummond and you got Reggie Jackson there, and you make the playoffs, but what did it really mean? Now they're just nurturing the young guys, bringing everyone along, sprinkling some veteran leadership. Now you're in a position to get one of the a very high pick, and this is one of the deepest draft class, possibly the best one since 2003. So you got some blue chip guys out there, and Detroit, you could possibly grab one of them up and make some things happen going forward, because they're a young team and they have a pretty good coach in Dwayne Casey, great coach out there in Detroit. The fans are great, so we'll see what happens. Anything else you want to say regarding the roster? Who stays, who goes? I know we both like Saddiq Bey a lot.
Right.
I think he should play a little bit more. He's averaging like 25 minutes.
Well, they just need to add the of course you're gonna, if you get a high draft pick, you're gonna go about. I hope they wouldn't just go by what they need. I think they should go by the best talent, and then get the best talent, because a lot of teams might need say a big, but you got a shooting guard that's possibly might be one of the top shooting guards in the league. When you see that, you got to. I believe you can just take the best player. You don't take just that position. You can make those adjustments later on down the line, but you got to take the best player. And according to how they draft, and we can't say that they won't pick up big free agents, because Jerami Grant was a big free agent, and they got him.
Yeah, they picked him up.
So I think the culture there, that hard. Listen, that's always been Detroit. The Detroit Pistons that won championships was hard-nosed, rugged teams that buckled down, played defense, scratched and crawled their way through. And right now I can see that way they're trying to train these young kids. That's the way that's the culture that they're building.
Yeah,
hard work, and so I guess that's why you would spend $30-something million to pay somebody to get away from your team.
Wow.
That's why.
That's real.
And for us, we were even trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that if he could just give them a little bit something this year, that they can make a playoff run. But right after that, Detroit said, this guy is not going to take us nowhere. This was a bust. We're going to get rid of this Van Gundy move, and we're going to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Take this $30 million and get out of here.
Yeah. And miraculously, now he knows how to play basketball again.
He's still not a star.
He's not. We know that, especially not for the amount of money that was left on the contract.
But he need to give some. He need to give a lot more back.
He owed more. He owed them more than that.
Yeah.
Because you were a young guy before too, and CP3 and guys like that brought you along.
Right.
Even if you didn't plan on staying, you could have left. I would say you could have left some jewels with the young guys as far as work ethic and things like that goes. But that's in hindsight, man. He's out of there, and Detroit is headed in the right direction.
I believe so.
I like what I see,
and
man.
Most people won't think so because they're looking at the standings and they're like, "What are these guys talking about?" But it's a whole bigger picture and the big future in place right now for the Detroit Pistons. So you fans, the Detroit Piston fans out there, I know what you guys deserve. Trust me, I believe that every move that they made. I was kind of baffled because we kept saying, well, they did what? Mm-hmm. Why are you gonna say? We because we were hyped. We had got hyped on them making a playoff run. But what good is it making a playoff run when that's the furthest you're gonna go for the next 10 years? Yeah. No, they made a move that they can actually start from scratch to change the whole future for themselves, and I like it.
And you still have some quality players on the roster, man.
Yeah, and the Detroit Piston fans will still be there. Mm-hmm. They know hard times. They know hard times.
No doubt, that's real.
Yeah.
All right, man. So anything else need to add?
Nothing else.
All right, man. Y'all stay encouraged out there, Detroit Piston fans. Everything is looking on the up and up, man. This is Teem Sports Entertainment, the podcast. Your one-stop shop for mature sports dialogue. I'm your host, Earl Teemer. Big Uncle's the co-host. Don't forget to like the video. Leave a comment below. Detroit Pistons fans or anyone else watching, just let us know in the comment section, what do you think about the team going forward, all right? Also, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way you know when we upload new content, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Teem Sports. That's Teem, 2 E's, Entertainment. And We out of here.
Peace. See you next week.
Hey, yo,